Right. Sinners is a 2025 critically acclaimed movie written and directed by Ryan Coogler. This film follows World War veterans and gangster twins Smoke and Stack who come back to their hometown of Mississippi and open a juke joint for their local black community. On opening night, they get their little cousin Sammy, an inspiring blues artist, to perform there, and Smoke's wife Annie to be a cook. Much like the blues legend in this movie, Sammy's voice transcends the entire joint and reaches the spiritual realm. But his voice also attracts vampires who are soul trapped in the human body for eternity, or at least until they're killed properly. Luckily, Annie practices hoodos and knows how to defeat them. But first, let's talk about the importance of spirituals in music. This movie tackles two conflicting spiritual beliefs: Hoodoo, an ancient traditional spiritual practice that came from African and Caribbean countries, the focus being on natural healing, connecting with nature, using natural resources for protection and guidance. However, once this was practiced in America, it gained a negative stigma. Professor and social justice advocate Danielle Boza claims that in the early 1900s, U.S. news articles rumored that it promoted human sacrifice, cannibalism, and other brutalities despite not actually being proven. But it is also important to recognize that these native practices got stripped from many African Americans during the slave trade, and they were instead forced or adopted Christianity as their main spiritual practice. This movie also tackles Christianity, majorly seen through Sammy and his father's relationship, who is a pastor. Sammy's father believes that any secular music is the works of the devil, but specifically blues music, a genre that has been harshly stigmatized throughout American history. The blues originated in the 1900s during the slave trade. The song themes there were often seen as taboo for non-black Americans as it didn't talk about the violent hardships of slavery and oppression, but instead freedmen opposing Jim Crow and intimacy, all themes that were seen as bad to the white oppressor, but was claimed to be the start of the new Negro mindset seen in author Sir Lamont Curley's book, The History of Blues. This new mindset promoted liberation and pushed for equal rights and citizenship for Afro-Americans, a theme that can be seen develop some years later through the Harlem Renaissance and again during the Neo-Expression movement in the 70s. Sammy Redneck and colonialism. Sammy, unlike his father, refuses to fall victim to these colonialist ideas. It persistent that he plays the music he loves and uplifts his community. His gift of song attracts Redneck, who wants his songs and offers him to become a vampire, which will give them an equal experience and cause him to assimilate to the other vampires, who can be seen singing and dancing in the same ways, a concept also known as colonialism and cultural erasure that can be explained through the article The Symbolism of Sinners. Overall, Ryan Kluger uses sinners as a symbolism for how colonialism affected many cultures, but specifically the Black American community throughout historical Black genres like the blues, practices like hoodoo, and Remix not very inclusive offer, though some might argue otherwise, to show the many ways that Afro-Americans have combated this oppression and turned it into a fight for equity and liberation.